In this video, we'll be seeing how to implement in-app purchases in Android. We'll be implementing this wallpaper application. On clicking, you'll be taken to a paywall. Here you can see a monthly subscription and an yearly subscription. Now, if the user opt in for the monthly, the payment option shows. Now I'm using a demo, so it's showing test card, etc. Let's say we subscribe. It will be successful and then it will take you to the home page. If you click the wallpaper again, you can see a toast message at the bottom. You can download. That means the subscription has been successful and you are having the access to the premium content of the application. So we'll be seeing how to implement this. We'll be using Adapty to implement in-app subscription in our application. This will give more data about the subscription and what the user have done, the user details, their access level, etc. And it will be easy for us to implement these using Adapty. So we'll be using this to implement in-app purchases. So let's get started with the implementation. First of all, if you don't have an account on Adapty, go to adapty.io and click login. Now you can see create an account at the bottom. Here, fill up the details and create your account. Now, after creating account, log into the dashboard. They will ask you to create an app. I have already created a test app. So for this video, I will create a new app. So click add a new app. Here, you have to enter the name of the application. Now you have to select the category. If you have an icon for the application, you can select it and upload here and click add a new app. Now Adapty will create a new app and will be redirected to the dashboard. Here you can see the quick start guide. Now we'll be implementing this on Android. So you can see the implementation for iOS, Android, Flutter and React Native. We'll be going for Android. You can see we have to add the repositories and dependencies. So first, let's go to our Android project. This is the project that I have created for this video. I will provide the source code in the description. You can download and get started with this video. If you want to see the demo, how it looks right now, let's run this. Here you can see a wallpaper application. And the data is fetched from an API. Now, if you click this wallpaper, it will take you to a paywall. Now, if you click this button, nothing happens because we haven't implemented those. So we'll be seeing how to implement the in-app purchase. So that's what we'll be doing in this video. I'll provide all the source code and necessary assets for this video in the description. You can download and get started with this video. We have to add the required dependencies to the Gradle file. So let's go to Adapty dashboard. We have to copy this line and go to our project and go to Gradle scripts and not on the build.gradle. Since the latest Android Studio update, you have to go to settings.gradle and go to the dependency resolution management. And here you have to add this line. Now you can click sync now. Now you can close this. We have to go to the documentation and copy the dependency. Now go to the build.gradle, the second one, you can see this, and paste it here. Now you can click sync now. Now Adapty is added to the project. You can close the file, go to the documentation. Here you can see we have to call Adapty activate. Copy this line and you have to paste it on the main activity.java. Now import the class and change this to get application context. Give it the semicolon. We'll be using Java for the majority of the application and certain parts we'll be using Kotlin. Adapty documentation is in Kotlin. So let's go to the documentation again. Now we have added Adapty to the project and let's click done. That's it. Now let's go to the next step, that is store configuration. Go to app settings on the sidebar and select the Android SDK. Here you can see package name. We have to provide the package name of the project here. So go to the project, copy the package name. Here the package name is, if you don't know what the package name is, I will prefer you to go to the manifest and copy the package name from here. Okay, this is the package name. You'll be creating your own project and the package name should be different for each project. So make sure you are having a different package name. Now copy the package name and go to the Adapty dashboard and paste it here. Now we have to provide the server account key file. You can get it from the developer account. Click the read how. Now this will open this documentation. Here you can see that they are asking you to go to the Google Play console settings and API access. We have to go to Google Play console and create a new app. If you are not having an app already, you have to create a new app. I'm creating a new app. I have created new application and it has redirected to the dashboard. Now let's go back to all apps and scroll down. You can see setup and API access. It will show you the screen. Now it will ask you to link to an existing cloud project or create a new Google Cloud project. In the documentation, you can see they are linking to an existing project. Okay. So let's create a new project since we don't have an existing project. Click on create Google Cloud project and click save. Here you can see it has created a new project and linked successfully. Now you can go to the documentation and scroll down. Here you can see you have to create a new service account. So go to the API access and click on learn how to create a new service account. Here you can see they are asking you to go to the Google Cloud platform. Now let's click it. Now this will take you to our Google Cloud account. And here you can see the service account section. So here we have to create a new service account. So click on create new service account. You have to be signed into your Google account on the Chrome device. Otherwise, it will not happen like this seamlessly. Be signed into the Google account. Here you have to give a name for the service account. Let's give this name. Here you can see the service account ID has automatically generated. Now let's create and continue. You can see an option to grant this service account access to project. Now click here and you have to select basics and owner. Now click continue. If you go to the documentation, you can see all these. They have given a detailed documentation with images. You can easily follow this documentation and create it your own. See? You can see the documentation is well written. Now let's go back. Here you can avoid this option and click done. Now you can see a new service account has been created. Now let's go back to the documentation. Here you can see we have to click manage keys. So you can see actions. Click on manage keys. Now let's click on add a key and create a new key. We have to select JSON and click create. Now this will download a file on your computer. Now let's close this. let's go to the documentation. You can see they are asking you to download the JSON file. Now on the step 9, you can see they are asking you to search this Google Play Android Developer API. Now go to the Google Cloud and search for this. You can see the first option. Make sure this option is enabled. If it is not enabled, you have to click the enable button. That's all. Now scroll down the documentation. You can see they are asking you to go to the Google Play Console API access. Now let's go to the Google Play Console API access. Here you can see the API access has refreshed and it is showing our newly created account on the service account. So if you are not seeing this, simply click the refresh here. You have to click the manage play console permissions. You have to select some options according to the documentation. Go to the documentation. You can see they have selected 4 options. So the first one is necessary and the second one, yes. You can keep this checked or you can uncheck them. And the fourth one is manage store presence. Okay. So yes, we have checked the 4 options. Now let's click invite user. Send invite. Now let's go to the documentation, scroll down. You can see they are asking you to upload the downloaded JSON file. We have downloaded a JSON file previously and upload it on the server account key file section on Adapty. So let's go to the Adapty dashboard. Now you can see the section service account key file. So click here and upload the file which you have downloaded. You have to upload the .json file you have downloaded from the Google Play. Now on the last section, you have to click on the read how and it will open this documentation. Here you can see that you have to enable cloud pub/sub API on the Google Cloud platform. So let's go to the Google Cloud. You have to go to your project. Make sure you are on the exact project that you are working on. Don't get confused with the other projects. Make sure you are on the correct project. If you are not on the correct project, just switch it by clicking here. You can see the list of projects that you have on the account. So make sure you are on the correct project. And after that, you have to search for cloud pub/sub API. Now you can see this on the marketplace. Click this. And this is the one you have to enable. Click enable. Now this is very important. You have to enable this on the project from the cloud, Google Cloud account. Otherwise, this will not work. So make sure it is enabled. Now that's all. Now you can go back to the Adapty account and you can click reprocess key file. So that's done. You can see that we have completely done with the connecting part. And if you refresh the page, now we have completed the connecting part of Adapty and Google Play Console. And we have also connected that with our Android application. So what's left is we have to implement the code for in-app purchase and user login, user creation, etc. So let's get started with that part. Go to the docs.adapty.io/docs. Okay. Now here you can see a short description about Adapty and the features they offer. Now we have completed the installation part. And let's go to the configuration part. We have also completed the configuration part. Now we have to go to the display products. Go to the Android part Now here you can see how to fetch the products from Paywalls. Okay, so first of all, you have to go to the Adapty dashboard, and here you can see an option, products and paywalls. So go to products and paywalls. Now here you can see option access level, products and paywalls. Okay, so in the access level you can see a default one is already created, that is premium. Let's keep it like that itself. Now access level means that what is the access level that we are giving to the user when they purchases a specific package or a subscription. So we are going to implement a monthly and yearly package with the same access level. Let's keep the premium access level like that itself and move to the next part, that is the product. If you want to create a new access level, you can simply click on the create access level and create a new access level. That's so simple. So let's go to the products part. Here you have to click on create a product. Here you have to type the product name. So we are offering a monthly plan and also an yearly plan. So let's type monthly plan. Let's select a category, that is monthly. If you are opting for 2 months, 3 months, there are many options, weekly, lifetime plans, etc., annual. So we are opting for monthly plan. So select the period monthly. Now here you have to provide the product ID. Now I have given the product ID wallpaper application dot monthly. Okay, so you have to make sure the same product ID you are going to give on the Google Play console also. So let's add this. Now you can select the access level ID here. We are only having one access level, that is premium. So it is only showing one access level. You can select different access levels if you are having different access levels. Right now for us, we are only having one access level. Okay, so select the access level and click save. Now we have created one product. Now let's create another product, yearly plan. Now select the period annual. Access level is premium itself. Now let's give the product ID, that is wallpaper application dot yearly. Okay, now let's click save. Now we are having two products, monthly plan and yearly plan. And we are having the product ID, that is wallpaper application dot monthly and wallpaper application dot yearly. You can see the period is monthly and annual. Okay, and the access level is same for both. Now let's go to the Google Developer Console and select the application you have created right now. Here you can go down and you can see subscriptions. So we have to create a new subscription. So in order to create a new subscription, you have to create a new release. So let's create an internal testing release. Here, scroll down and select the option products. Under the section monetize, you can see products and select the option subscriptions. Now this is showing because we haven't uploaded any APK. So let's create an APK release file. Go to the projects and you can click on the build, generate signed bundle or APK. Okay, now let's create a Android bundle. Now let's click on create new. Now it's asking for the path to the key file. I have selected the path to the key file. Now let's give it a password, any password you wish. Now the key alias, I am keeping it to key 0 itself. Let's give it the password. Now let's add the first name, unit, organization, etc. Let's click OK. Now you can click remember the password and let's click next. Click release and click finish. Now this will generate the bundle file. You can see the bundle file is generated. If you click the locate, it will show you on the file location. Now let's go to the developer console. Now for the testing purpose, select the app and go to the testing part and select internal testing. Now here we have to create a new release. Now let's upload a new bundle file. I have already uploaded the bundle file. So let's select the bundle file and add to the release. If you haven't uploaded it, simply click the upload button and you can upload it. Now you can select any name. Now let's create the review and click on review and release. You can see 4 warnings. Ignore them. Now let's click on start rolling out to internal testing. Rollout. So we have created a internal testing release. So you can add testers. So let's add one tester. I have already added one tester to my account. You can add new tester by simply clicking the testers option and click on the tester here. And here you can type the name for the list and you can type the tester's email account by giving a comma like that and simply click on save. That's all. You can simply type the email of the tester and click enter and that will come to this tab. So I have added my tester account. Now let's save it. I have already saved it. Now you can go to the subscriptions tab and create the subscription. So scroll down, you can see monetize, products, subscriptions. So after creating the release, you can see create subscription. So simply click on create subscription. Now you have to give the ID for the product. So here you have to be careful. You have to make sure the product ID is exactly the same. So let's copy this product ID, that is wallpaper application monthly, and paste it here. Let's copy the name also and click create. So now we have created the plan monthly. Here you have to scroll down and you can see add base plan. Click on add base plan. Give an ID. Now I am giving the ID wallpaper application monthly base plan. Now you have to make sure that you are not using any dot or any other characters. You have to read this and give the ID accordingly. So I have given the base plan ID. You can give any ID. You don't have to worry about this ID. So let's click on the renewal type, auto renewing. You have to renew it automatically. So let's click the billing period monthly because this is the monthly plan. You can give the grace period as 7 days. Okay. And yes, resubscription allow. And let's set the price now. Click on set prices. Now you have to select all countries, or you can select any countries that you wish to. So I'm selecting all region and click on set price. Now I am setting the price on USD. You can select USD and set the price for the monthly plan like $9 and click on update. Now you can see the prices on other countries. You can even edit them for specific country. You can see that. See? You can see the price for India. See? If I want to edit this, I can simply edit this price and it will be edited for the Indian audience only. So now let's click on save and then click on activate. That's all. Now go back. Now you can see one base plan has been added. Go back and create new subscription. Here you can add the yearly subscription. So let's copy those details. You have to make sure the product ID is matching exactly. Now let's give the base plan ID. I'm giving wallpaper application yearly base plan. Now let's create the auto renewing and you should select yearly because this is an yearly plan. Billing should be yearly. Okay. Now let's give the grace period 14 days. Okay. Low. And now we have to set the price. Now click on all region, select all the countries and click on set price. Now select USD. Now previously for monthly plan, we have given a $9. So let's give like $99 for an yearly plan. So you can see the price for other countries also. Now let's save and click on activate. Now go back, click on back once more on the subscription. You can see we have created a monthly plan and also a yearly plan. Okay. And we are having one base plan each. Okay. So let's go to Adapty. You can see we are also having the monthly plan and yearly plan on the product section as well. Now we have to create a paywall. Okay. So to create a paywall, go to the paywall section and click on create paywall. Here you have to give the name for the paywall. Now let's give an ID for the paywall. Here you have to add the products to the paywall. We have to add two products, that is monthly and also yearly plan, because we are having two products on the same paywall. Okay, we are having a monthly plan as well as yearly plan. Now we are having a remote config section here. This you can use to pass some custom data to the paywall section so that you could fetch something like a background color or button color or something like that, name, title, image, etc. And you can fetch it there and display it. So that means you can update here on this section and it will update on the app automatically without having to update the code. So let's give some background color or something. So I have given a background color black. Now let's click on save and publish. Now we have created a paywall and we are having two products. Okay. That's it. Now we have to fetch this paywall on the Android app and we have to display them. So let's go to the Android app. You can see we are having some code already written. You can download this exact same state. Okay. If you are downloading it from the description, you will get the exact same state. That is without any implementations, just like this. We are having a class Adapty main. You can see we are having some functions that we will be implementing, but I haven't implemented anything. You can see get paywalls, set product data, and etc. All those stuffs. We will be implementing all these. So let's get started with that. Go to the documentation section and on the subscription status, select Android. Now you have to check whether the user has made the purchase on the first screen itself. So for that, you can copy this. This is in Kotlin. Now go to the app and you have to open the Adapty main. Now you can see here the function getPurchaserInfo. Now you can copy this here, import the class, click here and click Alt plus Enter. That's all. Now this function will check whether the user has made any purchase. If yes, then you will get data inside the purchaser info. We have to check whether the purchaser info is not a null value. If the purchaser info is not a null value, we have to check whether the access level is what we have specified on the Adapty dashboard. Here on the access level part, you can see that the access level ID we have used is premium. So we have to check whether the access level for the purchaser info is equal to premium. Okay. For that, go to the app and type an if condition. Now you have to check purchaser info dot access level. Now you will get the access level inside this dot get, and you have to specify the key. Now the key is premium. Then we have to check whether it is active or not. Is active. Now you have to check whether this is equal to true. That's all. Now here you have to add okay. So now open the if condition. So inside this if condition, it means that the user has access to every feature that we are offering inside the premium access level. So here we have to set some value to a variable, and we have to fetch it inside the main activity. For that, we can create a shared preference and assign the value to the shared preference. So create a variable for shared preference and also the editor. Here you have to specify the name of the shared preference. Create a variable for editor. Now we have created the variable for share preference, and with the name, wallpaper app, and editor variable, and then assigned a value false to purchased. Okay. Now inside this, if the user has access to premium, access level premium, you can set the purchased to true. So let's copy this line, paste it here and set it to true. So only if the user has access to premium, this purchased will be set to true. Now for our testing purpose, we can add some logs so that we could view while running the app. Now, when the purchase info function is called, this log will be printed. And when the user has access to access level premium, this log will be printed on the error section. Okay, we have logged it to the error section. So now let's call this function. For that, go to main activity. Here, you have to go to the onStart method. Now inside this, you have to call the getPurchaseInfo function. For that, you have to create a variable for the Adapty main class. Now we have to initialize this object. So come here and let's initialize it. Adapty main equal to new adapty main. Now we have to pass this activity. That's all. Now come back to the on start and you have to call adapty main dot getPurchaserInfo. Now go to the top and in the activate function, you can also specify the user ID. So user ID will be like something that when you log into an account, you will be given with a user ID, which will be generated from the database. So you can provide the user ID here, like give a comma, and you can specify the user ID. So this will be useful for the data that we will be viewing from the Adapty dashboard. We can identify the user easily. So I'll be specifying the user ID like test user. So I have given a demo user ID for now. So you can specify the user ID here. Okay. Now we have called the getPurchaserInfo inside the onStart method. Let's run this application and check. You can see the app has opened. Now let's go to the revenuecat. Now select the emulator, application package name, then go to the error section. Change this to error. Okay. You can see that the getPurchaserInfo is called once. If you go to the getPurchaserInfo, you can see that you have logged getPurchaserInfo and with the message called. And if the user has access to the features, premium features, the log with tag getPurchaserInfo and purchaserinfo will be printed. Here you can see only one, that is the top one is printed. Now you can see the other errors. You can simply skip those. Now if you want to filter out all these, you can go to the section here and add edit filter configuration and give a name, some name for the filter. And you can give the tag here. Now select the log level, that is error. You can also specify the package name here and then click OK. Now we have applied the filter. Now you can see only those filtered results are shown. And close the emulator. We have implemented the getPurchaserInfo function. Now let's go to the main activity Java. Create an object for shared preference and editor here as well. Now let's initialize the share preference variable and editor variable. Let's give the name what we have used here. So copy the name and paste it here. Now that's it. Now you can also show a progress bar while fetching this data. It is actually not necessary, but it's quite fast. But you can show a progress bar. For that, I have created this class progress dialog. Now you have to create an object for this class. So you can see I have already created an object for progress dialog class and also have initialized them. See, you can see that. Now you can simply call this object. So I have initialized two objects for the same class. So let's use the second one, that is the progress dialog. Now go to the start function and call progress dialog dot start dialog, and let's pass a message, something like loading. That's it. Now we have to go inside the getPurchaseInfo and we have to dismiss this alert. So you have to go to the bottom and you have to call dismiss here. So for that, you have to pass an object of the progress dialog here. So progress dialog. Now let's call the dismiss after this, after the if condition. Now that's all. Now we have completed the purchase info function. Now this function simply checks whether the user have already purchased the product. So if they have purchased, it will set the variable purchased to true. And we'll be checking that here after some time. So let's get started to that. Before that, we have to pass the object progress dialog here. Okay. So just pass the object here. That's all. Now we have to move to the next part, that is on click. So this on click listener works when we click on the cards of the application. So I will show what they are. So this on click listener works when we click on the card. You can see when we click on this wallpaper one, you can see it will open the paywall activity. Here you can see inside the on click, we are calling a start activity with the paywall class. So that's it. We'll be checking whether the user has already purchased or not here. So for that, go to the top and let's create an boolean like purchased. Now come to the bottom and here you have to get the value for the boolean from the shared preferences. Now go back to the on click listener. Inside the click method, you have to check if purchased. Now, if the purchased is true, you can call make a toast or something. For now, you can make a toast saying that you can download. Otherwise, we have to call the paywall. So let's make a toast. You can also access the index of the list here. So let's print that also, like index. So this is the index and you will get the index of the list where you clicked. Okay. So we have made our toast message. Now we have to type the else part. Now else you can start the activity, that is the paywall. So if purchased, we will show you can download this. Now when the user has not purchased, we will open the paywall. So let's try running this. Now if you click, it will open the paywall because we haven't made any purchase. So it will open the paywall. Now, if we have made any purchase, it will show you can download this. Okay, let's go to the next part. So we have checked whether the user can download or not. Now, if they cannot download, we have to implement those things inside the paywall class. So go to the paywall, and here you can see we have two buttons, button monthly and button yearly. On clicking the button monthly, we have to make the subscription to the monthly, and on clicking the button yearly, you have to make yearly subscription. So for that, let's make an object for Adapty main. Now let's initialize the object Adapty main equal to new Adapty main. Now we have to make the call for the paywall, because here we have to get the paywall details. So we have to implement the function getPaywalls. So go to the documentation, and on the sidebar you can see display products. Click that, Android. Now you can see the function getPaywalls. So copy this. Now this will get us the paywall details and paste it here. So inside this, you will get the paywalls. If there is one paywall, you will get the data of one paywall. If there are more than one, you will get all those paywalls here. So you have to loop through the paywalls and get it. From here, we will be getting the product details. So let's check whether the products is a null or not. If products not equal to null. If the products is not equal to null, we have to set this to the class using this function set product models. We have to set the data. So for that, we have to pass the variables to this function first. Then only we can access the data from paywalls class. So let's pass product data. We will also need the object of progress bar. So progress dialog. So let's create that also. Now we have created the objects for product data and progress dialog. We have to pass them to the function from the paywalls where we are calling. So inside the if condition, you have to set the data. First of all, we have to initialize the product data here. We will not be initializing it from the paywalls class. We'll be initializing it here. So let's create a for loop for product in products. So now here we have to initialize the object product data equal product data. Now we have to make sure the product data is an array because we are having more than one product data. So let's say it as array of product data. Sorry. Okay. Yes. So then we have to product data of I. So we have to specify a var I equal to 0 outside the for loop. Okay, product data of I equal to product data. Now we have initialized the object. Now we can call the product data of I dot set product models. Inside that, pass product, not products, product. Okay. Now you can increment the I. So we have done that. Now you can create an else condition for the first if. So let's type else. Let's simply log this error, like error dot localized message. If it is not null, we will log it. That's all. We'll be calling the progress dialog also while calling the getPaywalls function. So we have to call the dismiss after the else condition. You can specify progress dialog dot dismiss dialog. That's all. Now we have to call this function. For that, go to the paywalls.java. You can make the call here like adapty main dot get paywalls. Now we have to pass the product data. For that, we have to create an object on the top. Product data. We have to make an array of product data. Okay. So make sure you declare it like this. Let's initialize the array of product data equal to new product data. Let's specify something like 10 or something. Okay. Now we can pass the product data object. Now here we have created an array of product data. And inside this get paywalls, we are getting each one from the array and initializing them here. Hope you understand that. Now we have to pass the object of progress dialog. So create the object, progress dialog, initialize it. Now you can call the progress dialog dot start here. Progress dialog dot start loading. Okay. Then you can pass the message like loading. Now you can pass the object, comma, progress dialog. That's all. Now we have called the getPaywalls function. Now go to the getPaywalls function. Now after getting the products, we have to set the price to the buttons. We'll be getting the price from this function. Okay. So we have to set the price. So right now we are only having 2 buttons. So let's pass these both buttons. If products is not equal to null, we can pass both to the function set product data. Okay, now this function will be setting all the data, necessary data to this view. Okay, that's all. So let's pass them like set product data. Inside that, let's pass products. That is this one. Okay, so we have to specify that here. That is product model. Now the product model is a list of product model. So let's say list. Yes. Now we have done that. We have also passed some background color through the remote config section. You can access that like, let's create a variable val rm config equal to, we can get the remote config values like paywalls dot get. Now the index is 0 because we are only having one paywall. So of 0 dot custom payload. Now this will get you the custom payloads that we are passing, all the custom payloads. You have to add this because we are not checking whether it is not null or not. So that's it. Now you can pass this to this function. So let's give it a comma and rm config. You can specify that here. So let's type alt enter and click the add parameters to the function. Now you can see it has added remote config map string of any. See, that's all. Now let's inside this function, we have to set the values to the button. So we are getting the price, etc. here. So for that, let's create an object for button. Now I have created an object for button monthly. Let's correct this spelling, monthly. Okay, I have created button monthly and initialize the object. Now let's create it for button yearly. Now we have to set the background color. For that, I have given the ID for the layout, like let's check that. Let's minimize the emulator. Now we haven't set any ID for the layout. So let's give a ID for the layout, that is ID paywall parent. So that's it. Now go back to the Adapty main and let's create a new object, that is paywall parent. Now let's change this to button to linear layout. And the ID to paywall parent. That's all. Now here we can set the text for the button monthly dot text equal to, let's specify some text. Now we have to fetch the price. For that, product model of 0, we are having two products. Okay, so of 0 dot localized price. Now this will return the price, localized price, like if it is in India, it will be in rupees, and if it is in US, it will be in USD. So let's type alt enter and add this to the top. That's all. Now let's do the same for the button yearly. Now this time it is product model of 1, the second index, dot localized price. Now we have set the price to the button. Now you can set the background color if you wish to. For that, simply type paywall parent layout dot set background color. Inside that, you have to call the color class dot parse color. Now you can get the color like remote rm config dot get. Inside that, you have to specify the key, that is background color. Now we have to convert this to string. Now let's change it to double quotes, not single quotes. Okay, change this single quotes to double quotes. That's it. Yeah, here you can give a question mark. That's all. Now we have set the color also. Now this background color is what we have used on the remote config section. If you go to the paywalls, on inside the paywall, you can see the remote config section. I have given the key like background color. Now it will be a black color. Okay. While reviewing the video, a mistake was brought into my notice. So we'll correct it right now. You have to fetch the products from the exact paywall. So you have to check whether the paywall ID is exactly the one you wish to fetch. So let's correct that. After this if condition, you have to check whether the paywalls is null or not. Now if the paywall is not equal to null, you have to loop through the paywalls. Inside the loop, you have to check whether the paywall ID is exactly the one which you wish to access here. So let's go and check our paywall ID. Go to Adapty dashboard, paywall section. You can see we have created one paywall named Premium Wallpapers. Now here you can see the paywall ID. You have to copy this. Now start an if condition. If paywall dot developer ID equal to now this is a string. Here we are checking whether the paywall ID is matching to this ID that we have provided here. So inside this we can get the products from the paywall. So let's copy everything inside this if condition. You can remove this if condition and paste it inside here. Let's create a new variable. Now to get the list of products from the paywall, you can do like paywall dot products. Now you are getting all the products from the paywall to this variable. So let's change this to our new variable. Now here you don't have to do it like this. So remove this much and replace it with paywall. Now you can add an else condition to the if, like if the paywall is not found, we could log it. Now we have completed correcting the getPaywalls function. Now go down and you can see the set products data. Change this to 0 and 1. You can actually create an adapter and automatically set the view. But since this is a demo, we are using 2 buttons and assigning the values. So go to the paywalls.java file and change the 1 to 0 and this to 1 here as well. Now on clicking, the first product will be passed and the purchase will be made. Here the first product's price will be set to the monthly and the second product's price will be set to the yearly plan. You have to make these changes. These changes won't affect the next section of the video. You might see old implementation throughout the video, but you don't have to worry about them. You can simply ignore that because we have completed the section get paywalls here. We will not be touching this section again. So none of the upcoming sections will affect the paywalls part. So you can carry on with the video. We have completed the implementation with the get paywalls function. Let's try running this and check. You have to run this on an actual device because you cannot run this on an emulator. It will not show the data. You have to have an actual device with Android Play Store installed and running properly. So I have connected my mobile and let's run this. Now the app is open on my mobile. Let's try clicking the wallpaper. So now you can see our monthly plan for 720 rupees. I'm from India, so it's showing on Indian rupees. We have set the price on USD. You have seen that previously. And an yearly plan is for 7900. So if you click the monthly, nothing will happen because we haven't implemented the function for that. We have to implement the function makePurchase. So when we click on the button, we will call this function. So let's get to that. Before we implement the makePurchase function, we can go through the updateUserDetails function. Okay, so here we will be updating the details like user email, full name, etc. So let's go to the Adapty documentation. Go to the set user attributes section. Now, if you scroll down, you can see Android option. Now click the Android option. Here you can see update profile function. We have to call this and we have to create this params variable. So let's copy this and go to our application. Now let's paste it here. Now this we can remove. Let's keep this here. Now this one we have to import it. Click on it and type Alt plus Enter, import class. The date also. Now the date is from the Adapty model. You have to select the com.adapty.models. Okay. Now here you have to add the brackets. Inside this if condition, we have successfully updated the user profile. So let's set the email, full name, etc. So for that, we have to pass some parameters to the function. So let's say fname, string, and last name, email, date, gender, and address. Now for date, we have to choose the Adapty date. And for gender also, Adapty he is having a class like gender. So you have to use that. Now we have to assign them to the params variable. So let's set the email to email and fname, last name, date, gender, etc. Yeah. Now let's change the date of birth. Now we are passing the date for date of birth. So let's change this to date. Now we have to set the custom attribute. For that, we are using the address. So for that, we have to set custom attributes, map of. Now the key is, let's say, address. And the value to be like address. Now we are having just one. So that's all. That's all. We have set the params. Now it will update when we call this function. Let's try logging this. Now let's try calling this function. So I'm calling it from the main activity. You have to call this function during something like a login, etc., or when the user update the profile, etc. Since we are not having a login, so I'm doing it like this. So let's call the function. We need the Adapty main object, Adapty main dot update user details. Now we have to pass the first name, last name, and all the other details. Now the date has to be Adapty date. Now date, you have to use the new operator since we are using Java here. So date, inside that you have to pass some year and month and the date. That's all. Now we have to pass the gender. For that also we have to use the Adapty gender dot. We have to set it to male, female, or other. So let's set it to male, comma. Now we have to set the address, which is our custom attribute. So I'm specifying it as codecc.com. So that's all. Now you can run this. I will show you where it will reflect. First, let's go to the Adapty dashboard and check the profiles and segments section. Here you can see several apps. Now this will be the one we are currently testing. It's from India. So let's click that. You can see the user details like user test. That's the user ID we have given. And there is no other details like email, phone number, nothing is there. So we will be updating this right now. So for that, let's call this function. We have called the function and let's try running this. Now we have called the function and the function is called. Function update user details is called. Let's check the logcat. On the logcat, you can see update user details updated. See, you can see that there. First of all, let me add the filters, proper filters to the filter section. Otherwise, you cannot see this properly. So let me add it first. So to add more tags to the filter, you can simply tick this rex option and then give an or, then paste the next option. You can do that likewise. Now, when we try running, you can see the filter is working properly. You can see the getPurchaserInfo and update user details are only showing. And we have only logged those two tags. So you can see the user details updated. That means the function user update user details has been called and it has been successfully executed. Now let's go to the Adapty dashboard and go to the profiles. Here you can see the username name has been added. Now let's click this and you can see the email address and the address and all those details that we have given has shown up on the dashboard. You can also specify the phone number and all those details. So that's how you can update the profile. Now let's start with the makePurchase function. Minimize the log to make the purchase. So for that, let's go to the documentation. You can see making purchase. Click that, Android. Here you can see the function make purchase. Now copy this and paste it inside this function. Okay, now we have to pass the product here. So let's create the parameter PROD colon product model. We have to create the object product model. Let's change this to PROD. So that's it. Now we have passed the product and everything. Now we'll be making this call from the paywall.java onClick method. So inside here, we have to type Adapty main dot makePurchase. Inside that, we have to pass the product data of 1 dot get product model. Now this will pass the product to this function. We have set the product on the Paywalls function. You can see that we have set product models, and we are accessing it here. Hope you understand that. See? So let's add it to the yearly button also. Adapty main dot make purchase of 0 dot get product models. Now we are not done with the make purchase function. So go to the make purchase function, and we have to set the shared preference here also. So let's go to the if condition and type an if condition. If purchase info not equal to null. Now inside this, we have to check the access level of the user. Now here you have to specify the access level ID. Here in our case, we are using premium. Dot is active equal to true. Now here you can give a question mark and open the if condition. Now inside this if condition, the user will be making successful purchase and will be having access to the premium content. So we have to set the shared preference here. Let's go to getPurchaserInfo and let's copy this. And let's paste it here. You can also define all these on the top. I'm just simply saying it here for now. And you can also copy this section and paste it here. So we have to finish the activity if the purchase is successful. We have to close that activity. So for that, you can say like activity dot finish. We are passing this activity while creating the object. You can see the activity here. Okay. Now that's it with the make purchase function. You can also add some logs if you want to see the logs. Let's add some logs on the success. And we can also specify an error on the else part. Else now that's it. Now you can simply run this on a real actual device. Okay, don't run it on an emulator. It will not work. Now before running, we have to go to the Adapty dashboard and go to app settings, Android SDK. We have forgot to do one step. That is, we have to copy this And this is a very important step. We just forgot that. You have to copy this and go to the Google Play console. You have to select the app that you are working with. Scroll down and you will see an option, monetization setup. Now click that. And here you can see real-time developer notification. You can paste this here and click save. Now this is a very important step. We forgot to do that. This will not work if we don't set this. Okay, don't forget this step. Now after setting this, you have to go to the internal testing tab and go to the testers section. You have to make sure you check this tester list and add the tester details here and click the save. I have added that. You have to make sure you done that. Add the tester email to this list and click save. Okay. Now you can copy this link from here and paste it here. And open this. Now it will show you an invitation. So simply click on accept. So this will only show like this if you are using the Google account which has the access to the application. So I am using the same Google account. So it's showing like this. Otherwise it will show not found. So simply click on accept invite. Now that's all. We have joined the internal testing program. That's all. Now you can go back to the Android Studio. And now we can run this application. The app has opened. Let's open the logcat. You can see the getPurchaserInfo has been called. And let's try clicking on the wallpaper. Let's select the monthly option. You can see the monthly option has shown with the Google Play payment option. You can see the test card. If you click this, you can see test card always approve and test card always decline. So we are going to choose test card always approve and click subscribe. So the subscription is successful. Now the window is closed. Now you can see on the log, make purchase success. Now if you check the Adapty main make purchase function, you can see this log is called when the user has made successful purchase. And you can see the getPurchaserInfo is called because we are back to the main screen. So here, and we are calling the getPurchaserInfo on start. So on the getPurchaserInfo, you can see the log getPurchaserInfo purchase info. See, we are getting purchase info. That means the user is having access to the premium content. Now, if you try to click on the wallpaper, you are taken back to the paywall again. That's because we are not fetching the data inside the if condition. Okay, so go back to the main activity. Let's minimize the log. Go to the main activity. Inside the on click, before the if condition, you have to copy this line. Simply copy this line and paste it here. Otherwise, the value will not be updated. Now you can run this application. You have to make sure that you don't forget to add this line. Then only the shared preference value will be updated to the purchases boolean value. Now if you try to click the wallpaper, you can see a toss at the bottom saying you can download this, followed by the index. See, you can see the index value properly showing up. So this means that the user has access to the premium content. That's all. So this is how you can implement in-app purchase using Adapty. I will provide all the details and all the source code on description. Now, if you want to implement the logout function, you can go to the Adapty documentation, and here you can see logout on the identifying user section. Scroll down, you can see the logout. Simply call the adapty.logout function. That's all. If you want to implement that, you can also implement that. Simply copy that and you can paste it here. That's all. Now here, the logout is successful. You can do the usual stuff that you do when the logout is successful, like redirect to login page or something like that. Okay. So I'm not going to show that. You can simply, this is the way how you can log out from Adapty. So that's all. Now let's check the Adapty dashboard once again. Go to the Adapty dashboard. Let's go to profile and segments. Since we are doing the testing, we can only view it inside this section. Okay. You can see one is subscribed. See, to a monthly plan for the price $9. So click this. See, you can see a detailed data, what the user has subscribed to and everything, and the access level, when it is expiring. See, everything, you can see it here. Since we are doing a test, Google will automatically, you can see that while subscribing, it is showing per minute instead of months. That's just because it's done for testing purpose. When you are doing it real, it will show properly. So you don't have to worry about that. So you can get all this data. You can see the email, everything here, the device name, everything here. And all this other data, like the analytics chart and all those things, you can see when you are making the actual payment. While doing the test payments, you cannot see the charts, etc. Charts and all will not appear on the test data. So that's all. Hope you understand how to implement in-app purchase using Adapty. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more such videos.